America is imploding. Well, it's nothing new. How's it going, folks? Jack here with another video. I want to apologize beforehand for the sort of unhinged content that we're about to witness right now, because as I've been told through the previous show on head reactions, some of you do appreciate this unhinged side of myself. And you know, with political assassinations being so hot right now, we're about to get into some truly unhinged content. So, with Mommy Shoe here, I guess that's fair to call her that because she literally is one. Welcome to the club. We're about to learn why it is that America is in shambles. Let's go.
My fellow Americans, I regret to inform you that it is that time again. Election time. Every 4 years we have to deal with this. Are you voting for the red files or the blue files? The red drone strikes or the gay drone strikes? Dead Palestinians or dead Palestinians? We're tired of it. They should just pick one guy to protect democracy and have him rule forever. And I believe that guy should be me. I am officially announcing that I have once again decided to run for president. I know my last campaign didn't go very well after they found the tweets. Black people say it all the time. I can't say it. Let's take a look at our candidates, shall we? Trump, old, orange. Kamala, woman. What is...
Hold on, there's a little bit more. Right underneath woman right there should be written isn't black, because some politicians don't seem to believe in people's ability to be biracial. It's like they're literally doing the reverse Obama. You know, when he was running as a candidate, he was called the mixed candidate. When he became president, he was the first black president. Like, from what I've heard, they attacked Kamala because of her laughter, which apparently something that was caused by her anxiety when she was younger. They were being called weird for attacking her because of her laugh, and they were like, don't fucking call us weird, we're racist instead.
What is a filibuster? I don't know. I get all my opinions from Twitter and my husband. Let's talk about Israel. Build Back Better, Agenda 47. Let me introduce you to the Shoe New Deal. Bring back the red Pizza Hut cups. Universal guns.
For everyone.
Make McDonald's colorful again. No more of this millennial gray shit, folks. We're sick of it. Government-sponsored big titty goth girlfriends. Make it illegal to be mean to me.
Hold on. I gotta make a comment on the government-mandated golf. Big titty golf girl. I have a friend called Emil who... I don't think I can show you a picture of him now. I should ask him for permission. But he was recently drafted, or at least he decided to go overseas with the army, and he just got in a relationship. As he came back, we got to see the girl. And yes, it was in fact a big titty golf girl. The thing about that was just that we, in our circle of boys, all said, your life is over. As you all know, big titty golf girls are amazing, but they come with a litany of issues. I guess that's something that only a man who has experienced war can handle.
To me, imprison people who sleep in jeans, and finally, deport all the Greeks. Who's gonna be my VP? Alex Jones. So vote for me. Or else.
You do not want Alex Jones to be your VP, especially not as a new parent. Dude's gotta go like, the child did not make Popo. It was a conspiracy made by the deep state, and if you don't believe me, God damn you to hell. Oh God, doing a coarse voice like his is just too hard. How the f does the man do it? It's absolutely unhinged.
The DNC is being held in Chicago, there's a Kennedy in politics, and an assassination attempt. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 1968. It has been a crazy few weeks. I'm sorry that I have been gone. I've been very busy, as some of you know now, and as some of you guessed, I have recently had a baby. And as it turns out,
congratulations.
That takes up a lot of your time. And it's weird, like, I don't really care about politics anymore, but at the same time, I care about them more than ever.
So, speaking of parenthood here, one of the things that you quickly will notice is that I, as the father, can pretty much consume...
Welcome to Starbucks.
Yes, it's a staple for content creators, I guess. Well, for Shu, it's always the monster that I've noticed, at least. But I get the triple espresso shot because I had a wonderful bike ride and the narcolepsy could be hitting at any moment. But that's not the point here. She's drinking an energy drink. I presume that she is breastfeeding, as it is generally the most natural and best thing to bond with your child and give them nutrition. So please tell me that this is just a prop.
Like, I feel like I care more about the future, but also I don't care about what this political streamer said about this political streamer. It is so freeing. I highly recommend it. And even though I told myself I am taking a break from politics, I am retired until further notice, I just couldn't help myself. Too much has happened. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Yeah, way too much has been going on. It's not just the Trump and Kamala or Biden situation that is going on, but everything that's adjacent to that. Literally, she mentioned the Kennedy candidate, RFK Jr. No, not candidate, but, well, whatever you want to call him. He literally currently made a video with Roseanne. Roseanne, one of the second most annoying individuals on planet Earth, who was, well, justifiably cancelled for making extremely racist rhetoric. But anyways, she and him had a conversation about how he presumably dumped a bear in Central Park after skinning it and eating its meat. We are living in some very strange times.
The news has been absolutely insane. I cannot keep up with it. The media has been more biased and extreme than usual, but thankfully there is a tool to help you navigate through all of that. So before we get into today's video, let's quickly get into today's sponsor, a sponsor I've been working with for over 3 years now, Ground News. Ground News is a website and an app on a mission to give readers a fun, transparent way to keep up with the news. And it lets you compare how stories are covered all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of the political bias, ownership, and headlines of the source's reporting to help you get all the information you need to understand the full story. The blind spot feature shows what stories are being underreported from the left and the right. For example, here is a story about how Trump apparently said disabled people should die? What?
What? Donald Trump told his nephew he should let his disabled son die, then move down to Florida. The nephew writes in a new book called The Comment Appalling. Yeah, no shit. Better not let any veteran read this article. At least from what I know, some are not really happy with the way that he's been handling policies regarding them.
Right away, we can see how this story has been covered by 19 sources, and 78% were left-wing. Barely any right-wing outlets are reporting on this. Or this one about how the Secret Service apparently refused to use drone protection before the Trump rally in Pennsylvania. Yikes. 13 sources covered this, and 100% of them were from the right. 0% of left-wing sources covered.
Yeah, that's kinda stupid, because everybody saw the shooter. Like, how did they not have communications between the Secret Service and the FBI and the cops
covering this? What's cool is you can even see who owns these media outlets. But my all-time favorite feature of Ground News is how easy it is to see how political bias can affect the framing of a story. It's so funny. For example, this story, this is how the left wing covered it. Netanyahu's speech to Congress underscores US complicity in Gaza war. And this is how a right-wing source frames the exact same story. Are you ready? Allahu Akbar! Protesters burn American flag, rage outside Netanyahu.
Bruh, it's the Daily fucking Wire. Of course they will go that way. Favorite high school debater Ben Shapiro sitting somewhere in his office being like, let's hypothetically say that one of the protesters said Allahu Akbar. What the fuck?
Speech. I have been using Ground News every day since 2020. It is one of my all-time favorite apps, one of the first apps I open in the morning. Best of all, you can currently get 40% off their Vantage plan, which gives you unlimited access to their amazing features. Get the deal by going to ground.news/shoe, using the QR code on the screen, or clicking the link in the video description. And now, back to the video. Now, as you know, I do not watch mainstream media. It's all biased and fake and bought by Big Pharma and the military-industrial complex, blah, 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 you know me. So instead, I tune into the real news.
Twitter.
Will Donald Trump win the next presidential election?
It's worse.
No, thank you. Will Joe Biden be the president for the next 4 years? No. Interesting. Thank you. Is the ocean considered another dimension? Yes, thank you.
Trump and Biden had a debate, and well, it went exactly how we all expected.
Yeah.
The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
What?
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
You know, I have my opinions, but let's see what the American people thought. I forgot to watch.
Fair.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the
In what universe? What? Okay, listen. I like to take jabs at politicians whenever I get the chance. It doesn't matter which side of the political aisle you're in. If you are I'm like equal opportunist asshole when it comes to this type of thing, because you're literally affecting people's lives. This turned out exactly as everybody expected. Like, this turned out as well as Joseph getting his hopes high while Mary suddenly got with child despite her supposedly being a virgin.
I beg your pardon?
What I'm trying to say is that only a divine intervention could have made this better.
You answered every question? The bar is in hell. At first, Democrats tried to play it off like Biden had a cold. They can only keep Biden in the basement for so long, and now the whole world sees his brain melting live on TV.
With the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
They couldn't deny it anymore, and people have been talking about it for years. I have been talking about it for years. We all saw it, and it's only gotten worse. And it's like fucked up to think about, because it just kind of shows like, of course we all knew this, but they really don't give a fuck about us.
Like, sure, he, unlike DJT, wasn't spewing 430 lies per minute like was he playing Flight of the Bumblebee live on TV. Yet, Trump was coherent. He was lying, but he was coherent.
If this is truly the most important election of our lifetime, and if democracy is at stake, why were you putting up this rotting corpse of a man? The Democrats had 4 years to find someone else. 4 years! There are a ton of other options, like, I would vote for Gavin Newsom. I don't know any of his policies, but he looks like a serial killer, and that's enough. This is...
He really does look like American Psycho. Damn, the resemblance to Bateman is uncanny. Jesus, what is this guy's policy? But to kind of get to Shu's point, from what I've got to gather, right? Because I'm getting interested a little bit about the US election, because as much as I would like to say, like every other person out there that is not American, that good luck America, see you next year. No, it's this stuff kind of affects the rest of us. We have deals that are going to be maintained and or ruined if one or the other gets to power. So when it comes to choosing the right guy or gal to run for office, the unfortunate position is that they have both maintained the status quo. Because the people who are actually talking about wanting to have other individuals that could actually do an actual change are never acknowledged. Like, there have been plenty of right-wingers, or should I rather say Republicans, who have pushed against MAGA, who straight up do not want Trump to be in power. But most of them have caved in. Even those who, as it turns out, have done that in a kind of performative manner, like his literal VP who called him Hitler in the past, and that other woman's name? Nikki Haley? Yeah, like they were against the guy, but now they all bend the knee. The cynical part of me is going to say that they just do that for a paycheck. They uphold the status quo of only maintaining the elite Republicans.
Today, big front page that JD wasn't sure if he wanted my support. JD is kissing my ass. He wants my support. So I'm 18 points up. If I was 18 points down, he wouldn't want my support.
The same thing goes for the Democrats. Think about the policies that they were supposed to be enacting. Just like how the Republicans have the fucking Project 2025 running up. In 2020, the Democrats has this document called the Democratic Party Platform, something that was told to me by my family that are living in Texas. So thanks to you guys for actually enlightening me about how some of these things goes on. But In there, you can read through all of their policies, the plans that they are supposed to be enacting once they actually have power. And you have stuff like the affordable housing that they were supposed to be pushing forth as more people were moving to new cities and states such as Texas and Washington. Speaking of my family over there, they actually moved from Washington to Texas. And the reason for that was that Texas, of all places, was a more progressive state when it came to housing, as none of the plans that the Democrats were supposed to be enacting regarding those policies actually came to fruition because the 1%, right, the elite Democrats pushed back against it. And the ones who actually wanted that to be enacted had zero say. And the same thing goes for the education, right? The thing that is always getting Democrats called out for being communists, as they want to give education as a, what is the word that they were using in the document, that a right for all or something like that. But because in the US, apparently the distribution of funds is proportional to the wealth of a state, states and cities that are not that wealthy get next to nothing in aid when it comes to the schools. So that stuff isn't happening either. And that is, of course, because they are holding the elites on top. That's why you had dudes like Bernie Sanders and even, like her or hate her, AOC, who will come forth and say stuff like,
we cannot, in good faith, blame the Republican Party when House Democrats have a majority.
So really, if I can just finalize my TED Talk right here, it all comes down to your political system, where it's like a winner-takes-all situation. Think about most of other countries in the world. Take countries like here in Scandinavia. Most of us make use of the open line system. I think that's what it's called, at least in English, where you are voting for a person that actually has a larger influence in a big party who actually gets a seat in the Senate, which allows them to have some influence in the politics that are being enacted in the country. Where in the US, it ends up just being like, if you are voting for a third party, it just means that you are aiding the opponent. It makes zero sense. Like, you should have more options.
This is why we need to repeal the 19th.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. Am I? Everything I say is a joke, unless you agree with it, then I'm serious. There's just no way Trump is losing. It would take a miracle. It would take something like, I don't know, Trump getting shot in the head at a rally in Pennsylvania.
You see something that said,
well,
take a look at what happened.
Say whatever you want about a guy, but he knows how to seize a moment. God damn, the picture of his was so fucking dope. Like, all you needed to have in the background is just like a bald eagle, those missing F-15s or F-35s, and the national fucking anthem playing in the background, and you will have America's the meme that we know it for. God damn.
Oh yeah. He's winning. I shit you not, I found out about this because of a meme on Twitter. The world could be ending, and I wouldn't know unless I saw a meme on Twitter. The bullet just grazed his ear because he turned at the last second to look at some immigration charts. Being racist literally saved his life. There's a lesson in that. The shooter was identified as Thomas Crooks, a 20-year-old who managed to find an unoccupied, unguarded roof not too far from the rally. He somehow knew that roof would be unguarded, laid down and aimed a rifle at the former president without being noticed.
Yeah, he was.
He was noticed. By everyone, except the people who should have noticed.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Where? Right there, see him? He's laying down, see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
He's on the roof!
We have people that
right here, flat on the roof!
Either this was insane incompetence, or they let it happen. I'm leaning more towards the former because if you look at our bridges and airplanes, America's in shambles.
Which makes me think, right? The people who have, I guess, lost the most out of this situation, the unfortunate family that lost a dad, obviously, but the nothing ever happens crowd. Yes, things are indeed happening, and if I am putting a little bit of the God, I don't have my glasses around here. Satire glasses on, let's just pretend. Can we contract the Boeing hitman who keeps on getting rid of witnesses so that we can actually take out the people who are not treating their workers right? Give those hitmen an offer that they cannot refuse so that they can stop the proliferation of all of these incidents. Late-stage capitalism and bosses only wanting to enrich themselves while people are dying for lack of regulations and oversight. What a time.
People were laughing about how some of the cops protecting Trump were women and like, come on now, that's sexist. They were making these awful memes like this.
The wage gap.
No, but like actually though, why did they have a 5'3" woman protecting a 6'3" man? The shooter could have had another clear shot of his head. Like, look at that. Look at that. What is that? Like,
in all fairness, have you seen Jason Momoa and his bodyguard? Shaquille O'Neal and his bodyguard? Gal Gadot and her team of Oompa Loompas. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that and be mean. Her team of short kings. Yeah. No, another one. Just one last one. Britney? Yeah, Britney Spears. Before the whole knife situation that she has been having there, she used to have a bodyguard who, I'm just gonna say, would not be able to ever give chase to anything. So it's not that surprising to have people who are these bodyguards who don't look like they can do their job.
Like, what happened? Did the Secret Service initiate some DEI program? That would be like something out of a right-wing boomer meme.
To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030.
Oh. Oh no.
Well,
breaking. FBI confirms that Trump's ear was struck by a bullet. Wow, thanks guys. How much do we pay you in taxes again? Also, now that the FBI said it, I'm kind of doubting it. This is like when the government confirmed there were aliens and then I stopped believing that there were aliens. The way we were so close to just seeing Trump's head be blown into smithereens, the worst way to be blown, it is so crazy. Like, what was the motivation behind this? I mean, the shooter would have to be some crazy leftist or maybe a crazy far-right person who didn't like Trump, right?
Nope.
Well, we don't know, because apparently this 20-year-old had no social media presence.
Good boy.
Okay, we do know that he donated to the Democrats and was a registered Republican. The internet was really desperate to find any kind of motive, but the only thing the media seemed to report on was the fact that the last thing he did was watch porn.
Bruv.
Was the fact that the last thing he did was watch porn. Getting in one more goon sesh before getting shot in the head by the feds.
The one thing that I remember, at least from it, was just how everybody was just grasping at straws, trying to figure out who he was. Like, dude literally has anti-centrist physiognomy. Like, you cannot tell what his motives are just by looking at his profile picture. That's why you had people, like, straight up going out of the way to take out pictures of kids that look kind of like him and insinuate that he was trans. People making stuff up like, oh no, Trump planted that so that he could look like a Martha. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, the only... if I am to be a little bit conspiratorial here, the only motive that I would likely believe is that it was something like a Shinzo Abe type of situation, where it was very personal. Like, Trump and some kind of weird cult afflicted this guy's family and honor, gooner honor, if such thing exists, but affected him so bad that he wanted to do something to him personally. Also, the cult thing is a reference to the fact that Shinzo Abe was involved with the Moonies cult, so yeah, for those of you who didn't get that.
Personally, I think it's important to know what kind of porn he was looking at. I think that will set the record straight.
Okay.
Furry porn, leftist. Hentai, right-wing. Feet, centrist. Latex, balloon inflation, BDSM, sissy hypno, shoe-on head fan. I always thought about, like, if the MK Ultra suddenly kicked in.
I guess I'm not a fan.
And I went on like a killing spree. Good luck figuring out my politics. Trump shooter used gaming site that features presidential assassination games.
So blame it on gamers, of course.
They're talking about Steam. He doesn't even own the game. He didn't even play the game. This would be like being called a pedo because you have Netflix and Cuties is on Netflix, even though you never watched Cuties. He's not trans.
Sex.
He's not Muslim. We can't figure out his political identity. Who do we blame?
Gamers.
Gamers. Now, I'm not a believer in stochastic terrorism. I think that's a little goofy. People should be allowed to criticize people. But if you're like, he's Hitler, he's Hitler, he's Hitler, he's Hitler, eventually someone is gonna try to kill Hitler. But it is crazy.
I mean, next step will be then that Kamala Harris gets murked because Dems are always being called communist and what do you call it? Radical leftist. Because I saw the clip of oh my god, what's his name? The Texas guy who went on vacation and left the entire state frozen because he wanted to go on vacation with his family. Oh my god, I forget his name.
The outset, Kamala can't have my guns, she can't have my gasoline engine, and she sure as hell can't have my steaks and cheeseburgers. She is a radical California leftist.
Ted Cruz, yeah, because apparently Kamala Harris wants to take his steak away or some shit like that. Yeah. Also, they're being called pedophiles all the time, so I guess that is ground enough to attack her. Like, I'm saying this in hyperbole, obviously. I don't think that it's okay to call a person Hitler, but you've got to admit, it's kind of hard to not associate a guy that literally dines with Kanye fucking West, famous anti-Semite, somewhat even weirder, Nick fucking Fuentes, and so many others who are like spewing anti-Semitic rhetoric and outright Nazis.
Don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
And be like, he doesn't he kind of have a little bit of fascist statement pushing on here? No, like seriously, Trump is not a kid in the same way that Biden is not. Like, they know the public perceptions. When they're doing abhorrent things, you can only get so mad on their behalf.
Crazy to think about how, like, this will be in the history books. This will be in my son's history book. But it will look more like this. Now, unfortunately, someone did die. One of the bullets hit Corey Comparator as he was protecting his family. But there were people, like, mocking this, which is insane to me. Like, it's one thing to make fun of a failed assassination attempt, even a successful assassination attempt on a politician. If we can't mock or criticize the people in power, there is an issue. But it's
like, for example, we can all laugh at Ronald Reagan. I don't personally like the guy. I don't understand why many consider him to be like a hero when the literal wealth disparity in the US has been caused predominantly by some of the policies that he passed, like at the beginning of the 70s. I made a presentation about the US judicial system in high school, but I'm not going to bore you with that. But to give you a quick summary, there was this like Republican or conservative judge, Lewis Jr., I think was his name. Can't remember the rest of it though, who wrote a document called the Confidential Memorandum that aided in the creation of the conservative think tank that is called the Heritage Foundation, that actually supported Ronald Reagan and made the enactment of such laws as the laws for Reaganomics, that at least created the Reaganomics, which initially was meant to help the US get out of his massive recession, to boost jobs. With more jobs means that people get paid and we get a higher middle class, and with a higher middle class, of course, minimum wage is supposed to be raised. But when that doesn't happen, when you are actually cutting the income tax of the most wealthy in the US and you are creating a wealth disparity that is massive today, things go awry. And also removing of regulations, such as we end up seeing now with Boeing. That was Ronald Reagan's doing, the creation of the welfare queen, the myth of like how black people were like stealing all the money from the state, and a shit ton of other stuff. Did he aid in some wars? Certainly, but like, inland, we're talking about a disaster. Like, I can dislike the guy like that, but I can find him to be kind of cool when there was this attempt assassination on him. He was shot but recovered, but 2 months after that, when he held a speech, the way that he just casually went,
"This city, America, missed me."
That's fucking badass. Same thing with Bush, another weird ass dude, but dude dodged la chancla twice. Obviously, we can make jokes about these kind of things, but when an innocent individual gets affected by that, you cannot push the rhetoric of, oh, because the other side is always having the same kind of communication. You can't do that. Especially not, I want to unfortunately hold Democrats here at a higher standard, because they literally have a slogan that when they go low, we go high. Stick to that. If you want to have the principle that makes you seem better, uphold that.
Thing about it too, and like, sure, like, can you just have some principles? Oh,
Yep.
Speaking of, libs of TikTok started doxing people for making jokes about the assassination on like Facebook and getting people fired from their jobs, including some old lady who like worked at Home Depot. Like her life is miserable enough, man. She's like 65 working at Home Depot. Libs of TikTok just completely forgetting the reason she started the account in the first place, to make fun of cringy liberal behavior like getting people fired for jokes and political opinions online. I have been incredibly consistent over the years. Consistently retarded. But one of the things I've been very consistent on, one of my principles is being against getting people fired for like things they said online. If you don't have principles, you are no better than your enemy. And it just becomes this extremely toxic back and forth, this toxic cycle. And you all look like psychopaths while I'm here on the sidelines, principled and losing.
Right.
Forever. Like, social media, when this all was going down, was a train wreck. Oh, speaking of train wrecks, the RNC happened.
Oh no.
Let me hear you cheer if you support Israel.
Enough was enough.
Oh my God.
I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother.
We become totally unhinged.
Oh no, it's the clip of the
Donald
dog.
Trump is not elected in November.
You can't do this to the papa. Come now. Dude, poor bulldog. Literally, one of the apex of the canine family. Reduced to a lump sack. Sitting there like was he on a late night show. Come on, man. Don't you think that he has been humiliated enough?
At the RNC, Trump finally announced his VP pick, JD Vance, a man who, according to Snopes, did not, in fact, fuck a couch.
The alleged couch fucker. Yeah, well... oh, which, by the way, it's a crazy thing, okay? We get coverage of these kind of things as well when we watch the news. We watch the news every single day at 18:30. Just because it's a nice thing to just get caught up on what's going on around the world. And with the American election, a lot of that is filling the airwave. And my girlfriend would be like, why the fuck are they even giving them airtime at all? To which I reply, lady, you are watching The Bachelorette. You have no say in what entertainment we should be watching here. I find this to be interesting. But literally, one of the speakers at the RNC either let in or walked out of to Smash Mouth.
Let's do it.
Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
The lyrics, I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. I watched that and I was bursting of laughter. Like, I don't know who you are, but that might not be the right song to choose. But like afterwards, with regards of the coverage to JD Vance and because of his controversial statement regarding Trump afterwards, there was like some commentators talking about him when this story was mentioned. And what's even funnier is that AP News published an article about that and recanted that, saying that it didn't go through the typical editorial process because of the wording, because one cannot definitely assert that he did not fuck a couch. You can say that he didn't write that in his book. I think it was the hillbilly elegy there that sparked the whole idea that he might have done that he didn't write that in his book, but you cannot state with certainty that he did not actually fuck a couch.
Well, he lost my vote. JD is a senator from Ohio, the author of Hillbilly Elegy, and a terminally online post-liberal who follows me on Twitter.
It is the weirdest thing to me. Democrats say that it is racist to believe, well, they say it's racist to do anything. I had a Diet Mountain Dew yesterday and one today. I'm sure they're going to call that racist too, but it's good.
Bruh. What?
I love you guys.
That's my oomphy. This dude follows like 1,000 people, and 2 of them are me and my husband. There is a chance that we have a vice president who has retweeted the words Hitler Bussy 420. Oh, they did it. They literally did write about Mountain Dew being racist. I hate it here. After posting on Twitter that he was dropping out, we didn't hear from Biden for a few days, and people started suspecting that he was dead. People genuinely thought the DNC took him out behind the shed and put him down like an old dog.
Style.
The shoot and miss. Quick. Plan B. Kill Biden. Phones don't even look like this anymore. This man's brain was so fried he had to drop out of the race, but he's still the president? We have a president who is too senile to run for president. So who is going to run for president? Who is coming to save us?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Just as I predicted 5 years ago, America might get its first female president because the president stepped down or died. Empowering! I don't know if you guys remember, but Kamala was not popular.
Absolutely
at all
not.
During the 2019 Democratic primaries, she dropped out before Iowa.
Do not come. God, I love that meme so much.
She was less popular than Tulsi Gabbard, and people don't like to hear it, but she was literally chosen because of her gender. Like, it's not even a joke. During the debate, when it was Bernie versus Biden, they were asked who they're gonna pick as a VP, and Bernie was like, well, it depends if they're progressive and if they're following a progressive agenda, and Biden was like, I vow to get a female VP.
Like, to be fair, Bernie Sanders wanted to do the same, and that is literally a thing that has been going on for quite some time. Like, wasn't it all the way back in like 2020 because of the racial unrest that was going on that they actually wanted, as a lot of time is done in politics, to appeal to a certain demographic, to have a black person and or female in power there. I think that's why also former Senator of California, I remember there was a lady in the Olympic recently, a black woman who held a speech, who also was supposed to be the running mate of Biden. Can't remember her name though, might be putting that during the edit. But like, yeah, they were considered as being VPs, and Kamala Harris ended up being the one to become that. But it's like the same thing that happened with either Mitt Romney in his time, Joe Biden himself, freaking Mike Pence to appease the Christian crowd. And let's not kid ourselves with the random minority hires that made it to the Republican Party as of late. Like, what the hell does Amber Rose have to do for the Republican Party? Recruit gooners? Picking a candidate based on the appeal that they might generate towards a certain demographic or certain people is nothing new. That's literally what brought Trump in power. He was the new kid in the block that people rather wanted to vote for instead of the bullshit that was going on with God, I forget the name. Mitt Romney. The thing that is important, however, is whether or not they have the credential that are supposed to be there. And let's be honest, when people are calling her a DEI hire, it's not solely based on the statement that Biden made here by saying that he wanted to have a woman. It's not that, and every single time that they get asked to clarify what to do that, they just keep on showing how much in bad faith it is.
And the crowd went nuts. We might have President Kamala Harris because Biden tried to outwoke Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders at West Lebanon. Harris is not going to win this election, and she is going to have a very difficult time winning unless she begins to speak forcefully about the needs of the long-neglected working class of this country.
The quote tweets and the replies were just full of thousands of people calling him sexist for this.
What
Bernie's
the fuck?
absolutely correct, though. Kamala has been so focused on getting, like, the TikTok vote with her little, like, brat summer thing. I don't know what the brat is. I'm old, but someone has to remind Kamala Harris that she's running for president of the United States, not president of the gays and women.
White Women for Harris meeting raised millions, broke Zoom.
But when I want to have a whites-only meeting, I'm called a racist.
That's disgusting.
Wow.
As white women, we need to use our privilege to make positive changes. If you find yourself talking over or speaking...
Oh my God. I want to smash my head in the wall when I hear stuff like this. Can people stop? Can people stop having this kind of victim complex? Stop it. Stop. Just talk about the policies. If you want to help, say that you want to help. It's so cringe.
For BIPOC individuals, or God forbid, correcting them, just take a beat. And instead, we can put our listening ears on.
Oh, no.
Truly, a clown world that we're living in right now. Same thing with Donald Trump having streams with XQC and Aiden Ross. The dude who sucked the fart fumes off of Tate's seat.
Ew!
Elon, I can't believe that I'm saying this, might have had a point. That we might be living in a simulation. Well, at least Americans might be, okay? I need to remind myself that despite the fact that I'm covering most of what 1/3 of my audience is being affected by, I'm not there. So I'm sorry, guys. Good luck.
Can Kamala Harris pull off a victory in 3 months? 3 top strategists lay out how. How do you run a 3-month campaign in an era when presidential campaigns have become years-long affairs? We gathered 3 top campaign managers to ask just that. We spoke with Patty Solis Doyle, who ran Hillary Clinton's 2008 presidential primary campaign, Robbie Mook, who ran Clinton's 2016 general election campaign.
Hi, Hillary Clinton team? Yeah, I need advice on how to win.
Also Mitt Romney. Also need advice on how to win. Oh my god. At least she hasn't said a Pokemon Go to the polls yet. So I guess she's fine so far.
What? Do you think Hillary's like seething? If there's any reason to vote for Kamala, it's just to make Hillary extremely mad. It was supposed to be me! The Democrats are voting for a cop and the Republicans are voting for a felon. And one of the candidates' VP is a shoe-on-head fan. Wild timeline we're on, folks. It's silly season. I don't know who's gonna win. All I know is that this is a race between 2 very different candidates.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Do not come.
I fucking love this.
Anyway, that was my little political video.
The smile at the end is so fucking brilliant. Jesus. Oh man.
I wanted to cover everything that happened so we can like look back on this during World War III and see how easy we had it. So what are your thoughts? Who do you think is going to win? Not who do you want to win, who do you think is going to win? Big thank you to everyone who donates to me on Patreon. I appreciate your support so much. If you'd like to support the channel, click the link down below, and I will see you guys very soon with a fun, non-political video.
I'm sorry for channeling the bit of the unhinged side of me when it comes to these kind of things, but yeah, genuinely, I do hope that most of you are doing well when this thing is going to go down. Because whenever, like, I guess, extremist rhetoric, especially, right? There's one thing to actually have clear out discussions where people are actually confronted with the fact of the matter of things. But like when extremist rhetoric is being spread like that, I just want to tell people to not care, because literally going outside and talking to people, you realize that the world that you're witnessing on your computer is not real life. That's not how it feels. Like, I'm reminded of a clip of Andrew Callahan from Channel 5, who does those like in-person interviews where he goes to rallies and or different arrangements and actually talks to people. And like, there was this one that he did on the rally, and he talked to this mom who, although she's a MAGA supporter and all that, the only thing that she truly cares about is just a better future for her children.
Happen.
What is your dream for the future?
For my kids to be able to live on their own. To be able to survive in this economy, to have their rights and their freedoms the way it's supposed to be.
Economic situation, being able to afford things in this fucking economy. That's what most people care about, just to be able to thrive. And whomever is going to give the opportunity for people to have that, I think is the one that you should be supporting. And that's really all that matters. Like, your fellow man, despite how weird it is that political alignment can be, people don't agree in general. There are a lot of things that I disagree with my partner, but we love each other, and that's what matters. We want to have a better future for our child and all that stuff. And just like Shu said there, like all whatever some streamers might be saying online, or the inflammatory rhetoric some numbnut who actually has zero power might be saying, doesn't matter. What truly matters is knowing whether or not the laws that are being enacted will come into action or not. those are the ones that you should be focusing on, not whether or not you should be voting for this guy. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts about the election system. We've had ours here in Denmark, and we are about to witness another one in the coming years, but so far we're good. So for the 1/3 of my audience, I hope that you are doing well. Take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and yeah, next video hopefully is nothing as political as this, but more goofy than that. That being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Wish you all to have a wonderful day. See you guys in the next one. Bye.